Today I'm going to show you how I made our Disneyland holiday shirts for our trip. It's all kind of jumbled video because both my iPhone and my camera were giving me issues, but I basically show you how to use freezer paper to make logos for your shirts, and you use it as a stencil. So I got creative and they worked out good. People at Disneyland asked where I bought my shirts, and then especially because mine was Mary Poppins and you can't really find a Mary Poppins shirt, and they were all impressed. The people that had commented, they were impressed in how well the shirts were, which I was happy to hear because I got really worried that they were cheesy, but they turned out great, and I'm really glad that I ended up spending the time on them. I had many late nights, and I'm glad it pulled off and worked, and it made a fun memory in the park. So you take your freezer paper and you run it through the printer, the paper side down, and you print out the image that you want, and my favorite Disney character is Mary Poppins. So you print out your image onto the paper, and I taped it to this cutting board, I guess, for material, and I have an X-Acto knife. Now they have the pen kinds, which are smoother in your hand, but Walmart was all out, and I didn't want to drive into further into town to the craft store, so this has been working fine. And sometimes I need a pair of scissors. Sometimes it's easier, to get in with the scissor if it's not once I start in, because you don't want to cut your paper to the image because this is your stencil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and my scissor and trace the pattern. So I picked out this material for Mickey. It'll match the red shirts really well. So just find a stencil. This is a pancake stencil for your grill. So I'm just using this, and I'm laying it down, and I'm just holding it as best as I can and tracing my Mickeys. I grabbed a yard in case I mess up because, like I said, I try to be crafty, but I'm not. So, okay, so I'm going to finish tracing these, and then I'm going to cut them out, and once they're cut out, I'll show you what I do from there. So now that I have my material cut out, I grabbed some what is it called? I grabbed some of this Heat and Bond Light, the sewable kind. What you usually do is you put your material onto the wrong side. Down on the bumpy side, there's a smooth paper side and a bumpy side. And you put your material on the wrong side onto the bumpy and iron it on, and then cut the shape out of what you want. But I already pre-cut these, but that's okay. So what I'm doing is I have this other piece of old material that I'm using to iron on so that some of the adhesive could get on here. I'm doing it wrong, but it's working. So, okay, here's my wrong side, and here's the bumpy side, and this is how I'm doing it, just so I can make it fit, and I'm going to iron it on. So I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, I'm not rubbing, I'm just pressing down on this. Okay, and what that is doing is allowing the adhesive stick to the back of the material, so then you can put it onto the fabric that you're going to sew it on. So that is done. I'm just going to trim the edges, and then I'll show you my next step. Okay, I just cut the wax paper to the length of a piece of paper, and I'm sticking it in my printer, the paper side first, so the ink goes on there. And I just had it print out 2013, and now we're going to have it print out Disneyland, and print, yes, this. So that will print out. It'll go right through your printer. It's doing a really good job too. And it holds ink very well. So what we'll do again is cut the stencil out and get it on the shirt. Okay, so I have the pattern where I'd like it on the shirt. So first I'm just going to do Disneyland, and then I'm going to take the paper off this. But if I can at least adhere Disneyland to it, then I know what's going on. So we're just going to set this on here. We don't want to rub. I love that Freezer paper can do this. So cool. And this is the first time me doing these shirts, so it's been taking me a couple of weeks to do them because I have to do it when the kids are not around. Well, except for Shaylee. She doesn't understand what's going on, but okay, now I can rub it a little. So that's on. Disneyland is on, stuck to it. So now I'm going to do this part. So I like where my 2 is, so I'm just going to move that and press down on my 2. I'm going to do the 13. Alright. Now don't forget to put the inner pieces to some of your letters in. So I have my D in place, the E, the A, and the D. Now, when I show you when I paint them, if some spots don't look good because of cutting, you just take a Sharpie to match the color of the paint and draw around it, and it works well. Okay, so I have some black acrylic paint. And I'm just going to put some on here. And then I have some black fabric paint. And this has worked really well. I've just done a mixture of both. And now I know these shirts aren't going to last. And so as long as they last one day in the park, preferably the first day, and for pictures, I will be happy. And if they get ruined after that, I don't care. Yeah, I'd like to have them for pictures. So then I'm going to take my sponge brush and just mix that together. So you can get like a stencil brush and pat it on that way, but I've noticed that with this it works fine. So you want to move in the direction, like, you don't want to move, it's kind of weird, like, you don't want to move, you want to go towards it and not against it so it doesn't go underneath the paper, if that makes sense. I just try the best I can. And like I said, after this dries, and if there's not perfect spots, I can come in with a thinner brush or a black Sharpie. So, and I debated what color to use, and should I use like a type of yellow, but black will just stand out really well. And I usually do 2 coats. This is Shaylee's shirt that I'm working on, and her Cinderella came out really well. I just put too much paint on it, so I have to be careful when I pack this shirt. I could actually probably crack her princess. So I put way too much paint on. So you don't really need that much. But you learn, right? So the next time I make shirts, I'll know better. And I'll have my silhouette machine up and running, because this was a pain cutting this out. Okay, so I'm just going to keep painting this. And remember to put like a magazine or something in between your layers so you don't bleed through. I have the 1 coat on, and I'm going to let it dry. And what I'm going to do, though, to make the time go by faster is go get my hairdryer because I have a lot of shirts to do tonight. So now I'm just looking for any red spots and just get those. And then I'll get a hairdryer. Okay, so now when you're all dry, peel it off kind of slowly, just because I can't really do this one-handed, so I'm going to put you down. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's dry and I've taken all the stencil off. So it's not perfect if like my silhouette machine cut it, but it's still super cute. So now I'm going to take my Mickey material. And remember, we put that stuff on the back, so it's ready to stick. So now I just got to figure out how I want it on. So this is acting like the 0 in 2000. So, and then when I'm all done putting this on, we'll sew around the edges and make it look cute. So I could have it, yeah, I made it go higher, like this. So that's what it'll look like. And now I'm going to grab my iron and press it. Okay, he's on there. I don't think he's going anywhere. Yeah, so that is the back of her shirt. But first, before I can finish this, we need to heat set the paint. And I think I'm going to wait a little bit. It's still, I got ahead of myself so I could film this for you, but it's still a little wet. So what I'm going to do is then take a towel, put it over the paint once it's all dry, and then rub the iron over the towel and heat set it. Okay, I have a towel down on my shirt, and I'm just taking the iron and patting it onto the paint to get it to heat set. I don't want to rub in case that paint is still wet. And then I just feel it to see if it's warm. That is how I'm doing the shirts.
Okay, kiddos, Mommy worked really hard and made us something for our first day at the park, okay? Shaylee.
Go get the
Sit there, Shaylee, look.
Mickey shirts.
Cinderella shirt.
Yay!
Disney 2013 on the back. That's for you.
Yay.
Mike Wazowski. Jack.
Really, you guessed.
The Pumpkin King. Sissy. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. Mommy is gonna wear Mary Poppins. And Daddy is gonna wear Tigger. So put these shirts on, okay?